these are things that have very real world implications, right? As I've said on the channel many times, stories influence the culture, and the culture is a reflection of our stories. The more we push this narrative in the stories that we consume, the more people start to believe this version of reality. And so you see that play out in the West, in countries like Korea and Japan, where and where they're really pushing this idea that gender normative roles that have been responsible for human existence should be subverted. They're seeing where in Japan, for example, obviously, once you start putting this narrative into play, where okay, all the women are Peach and the men are Mario that are just there for backup, women then start to lose desire for these men, because once the men start to accept that role, that their purpose is not to lead, that their purpose is just there to be a secondary character, then these men become undesirable and women start to look elsewhere. And you see that happening in Japan, where many of the Japanese women are not looking to get involved in relationships with Japanese men. They're more likely to marry out of Japan. Korea and Japan have seen a decline in their population as well. And Japan worse off because they're on track for total collapse if something isn't done about it. But it isn't simply just a numbers issue. It is a cultural issue, largely permeated with the narrative that we're discussing now. The idea that men are no longer the hero or the leader in our case. And you're now seeing that happen in the West as well, right? The US is slowly heading in the same direction, as is the UK as well. And for the men listening, this is something you need to pay close attention to, because the idea is that if you follow in the trend of Japan and Korea, where you've accepted this role that you are not Mario, or you are Mario, but you're now the help that needs to come in, and Peach is now the leader. If you accept your position there, then that means you have agreed that you are now an undesirable man. And the same thing that is happening in Japan will happen in your country as well. And then immigrants will need to come in to sort of subsidize the shortage of men in the country. So these stories, they do have real world implications, and we need to recognize that in order to address it. We need to reject this programming from Hollywood to subvert biology, because that is in fact what they're attempting to do.